Okay, I think we're on the air.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're on air.
Are we? Do you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for a little bit of a technical difficulty here. This is my very first ever um, Google Hangout on air, and I want to say that I so much appreciate everyone who is on here tonight with us. You are the best people in the world, and I'm so happy to be here tonight as well. So most of you here know me pretty well. I'm Jenya Simonova, and I started Whole Woman Media to help women like myself who are on their path to better their lives in the areas of health, relationships, money, spirituality, and leadership. And to that end, my vision is to bring together the most phenomenal and inspiring. Are we? Do you know? Okay. Hi, everyone. Sorry for a little bit of a technical difficulty here. Okay. This is my very first ever Okay, never mind.
Google Hangout on air, and I want to say that I so much appreciate everyone who is on here tonight with us. You are the best people in the world.
Are you? Is that your
I'm so
computer or is
happy
it my
to be here
computer?
tonight as well. So most of you here know me pretty well. I'm Jenya Simonova, and I started Whole Woman Media to help women like myself who
Alex,
are
is it
on
your
their
computer
path
or is it my
to
computer?
better their lives in the areas of health, relationships, money, spirituality, and leadership.
Okay, that was a little bit of a technical difficulty.
That's okay.
Okay. Anyone could please post a comment, say that you're there. I would really appreciate it. Could anyone please post a comment in the section, the questions below the big screen?
I'm here with you, Jenya.
Okay, Alex, you're there. Okay, great. Okay, that was phenomenal. All right, without further ado, tonight we have a rock star health and fitness expert, Alex Bynum. And I'm so happy to introduce you guys to her. Alex, you just posted this great article about self-love, which I found very moving and very intriguing. And in it, you talk about how women use food sometimes more of as a punishment to themselves instead of a nourishment. Could you please expand on your idea of self-love?
Sure. So, hi, everyone. Hi, how are you doing? My name is Alex Bynum. Jenya, thank you for having me on tonight. Really quickly, I'll just tell you that I've had quite the health and wellness journey, which has led me here to talk to you tonight. And with that, I will say that our first question is about self-love. So I can tell you that I did write an article. It's posted at wholewomanmedia.com if you haven't read it. And my thought was that the first thing I wanted to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that even I could go right into how to lose weight. You can do this, 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 and this, right? I can give you a formula, but what I'd rather start with is I'd rather say that for me, what I found in my life when I think about my fitness journey is that I've found that when I was in times of stress, or when I wasn't feeling like I loved myself, or when I was feeling very critical of myself, that's when I would put on weight. It became a form of protection, and the fear was when I would use food uh, to take care of myself. And so my first thought that I wanted to share with you tonight was that self-love is all about really just taking the time to nourish your body with those proper nutrients, to tell yourself you love yourself each day. And I know that when I'm happy and I'm alive and I'm just doing in the flow of things, that's when food really doesn't become an issue for me. So I wanted to start there tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alex. That was very personal and informative. I also want to ask you, very often throughout the day, I just have a drop of energy, especially in the afternoon.
Okay.
And could you share some tips on how to have your energy consistent throughout the day and uh, how to bring it up again if you lose it?
Oh, that's a great question, Julia. Yeah, so what I would say is energy is everything. You I mean, really, energy is what keeps life going. Extreme optimism, in my opinion, is the energy of life. And so I would say that if you're finding yourself kind of in a lethargic, I hate that feeling, that lethargic, that like for me it's the 3 o'clock slumber. Around 3 o'clock, what I'll typically do is I'll see what kind of state my body is in, and then I'll do something to change that state. So usually I find that people come to me saying, I'm so tired around 3 p.m. and I'll say, well, what are you doing? And they'll say, I'm sitting in a chair at work, or I'm, laying on the couch. And I'm saying, thinking in my head, well, there's part of your problem. So the challenge would be to get up. Something I like to do is dance is a great form of energy. Something silly is you could hug yourself. That's a great way, just wrap your arms around yourself, hug yourself. That'll actually bring up your energy, just practicing some self-care and getting out of that negative, toxic place that makes you so lethargic. Walking is a great one. I know you live near the beach, Ginya. So you could
That's right.
you could go for a walk, and even smiling could bring up your energy. So just really simple. Getting around people, quick tips like that seem to be the most effective way that I found to really pick up your.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. I know the simplest things sometimes work the best, even turning on your music up and dancing and hugging yourself and saying the positive affirmation. I like how you said about being an optimist throughout. Yeah, and going to the beach, going outside. I think communing with nature, too. I think we can get energy from about every source around us, even like looking at the sun and trying to imagine that light coming into our heart. I mean, that really helps me to bring my energy up.
Right, right. Even
So I know, Alex, that you are a 3-time Fitness America bikini contestant, and you're also a certified CrossFit trainer. So could you, I mean, that means you probably know everything there is to get your dream body in shape the way you want it. So could you share with us some really fun and also easy and simple exercises that women can do from home to get their dream bodies?
Sure. So you just want me to fill you in on some exercises you can do to start to get your dream body?
Well, the ones that you have tried and which ones have worked and did not work for you, so you could share.
Okay, sure. So I would say throughout my fitness career, I really started when I was, I would say around 20, in my early 20s. I'm still in my 20s, but my earlier 20s. And I would say I've pretty much tried everything. So I would yeah, so I would say what works for me, what works for Alex is I really enjoy weightlifting. That's something that I enjoy. It's challenging, and I like the challenge of it, and then I'll follow it up with like a dance afterwards. I did create Crazy Fun Fitness, obviously, because I think that monotonous exercise is very boring, and I look forward to something fun and engaging. For me, personally, CrossFit was not the answer. CrossFit for me was a little bit too intense that I found, but at that time in my life, it did serve a purpose. So when I needed to really, when I needed an extra drive or something like that, CrossFit is a great resource for people. That
Okay. What about something right now? We're in the summer season, and as you mentioned, I live by the beach, and I'm a very outdoorsy type of person, anyways. So, what would you recommend? Something away from the treadmill and traditional workout equipment, something for people can do outside and enjoy the beautiful weather.
Sure. So something you can take outside, obviously, would be something I like to do is a gratitude walk. So
What
what
is that?
yeah, so that would be really cool. So what you could do is you could go for a walk and you just give gratitude for everything that you see in your sight and everything in your life. So
Mm.
that's actually a really great thing you can do. Another thing you could do outside is a dance walk where you play your favorite music and you just dance as you walk, and it's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, I'm sure the people around you are gonna love that.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Yep. So that's some simple ways. Yep.
Okay, those are great options. Okay, well now about how about we talk a little bit about food. So I know you're the super high energy and extremely successful personal trainer and contestant, but you must be not perfect. I have this intuition that you probably have, as all
I know what
women,
you're talking about too.
right? As all women have at least one guilty pleasure. So
Okay.
if you would not mind being honest with us here and
All right.
share what can we actually indulge in. I know for me, I'm a chocoholic, so whenever I feel stressed, unfortunately, my first impulse would be to go grab some chocolate. And I know that's probably not the healthiest alternative. So maybe you have some suggestions which will satisfy our, guilty pleasure need, but also be good for us. Is it possible? Is it even possible?
It is possible. So I'll tell you a little secret. My guilty pleasure is icing. I love icing. I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed with icing. I have to have it. So that's my go-to guilty food. So instead of going to Betty Crocker at the grocery store, what I've done, I actually tried it last week, is you take coconut milk and you take dark chocolate chips and you kind of just whisk the two together and it gives you an icing. So if you're an icing freak like me, that's actually a great tasty food that you can use. For chocoholics, there's all kinds of things. Something simple would be, I have a great recipe for cookie dough hummus at crazyfunfitness.com. And what that is, it's basically chocolate chip cookie dough, but it's disguised with like chickpeas and honey and almond butter and chocolate chips. And so you
Well,
think,
it sounds like a lot of work, Alex. I this one
well,
thing I don't cook, so something that's a lot easier. Like, what about maybe a raw chocolate bar, right? Or something you could get like sprouted seeds bar. You can get
yeah.
those things at Whole Foods, yeah. Or just juicing. I think if you can juice some plants or fruits, I mean that would really boost your energy, I think, right?
So juicing is actually pretty complex, I think. I can tell you that like the cookie dough hummus is a blender and like 5 or 6 ingredients, and that's it. That's all you have to do. I make everything very simple because I don't cook either, and I don't think most people have time to cook. So that's great. If you're like really desperate for chocolate, 70% dark chocolate is great. And yeah, I would say those are some good alternatives.
Hmm. Thank you, Alex. So, we talked a little bit about this before, a lot of women in particular use food as an emotional outlet. Well, that's what we've been talking so far, and I do too sometimes. So, do you have any good tips on what do we actually do when we feel powerless and that chocolate is just so strong in our mind and it's so hard to resist? Do you have any tips to, work on our mind maybe?
So I'll be honest with you. I've definitely struggled and still struggle with emotional eating. And what I do is when I'm in the kitchen, what I do now is I notice that when I stop resisting, stop like fighting the food. You know what I mean? Like stop fighting with myself. Oh, I shouldn't have that, and just don't judge myself. I find that I'm actually kind of at peace, and it's not as big of a deal as it tends to have been in the past. Something else my friend taught me is, when you're in the kitchen, something you can do is you could say to yourself, I love you, thank you, I forgive you, and I find that that works really, really well in the kitchen.
Oh my goodness, we just got this question. It's very similar to what I just asked from Danny. Thank you, Danny. So Danny's asking, if you get really hungry and are depressed, what do you suggest?
If you get
I
really,
think a lot of us can relate, right?
if you get really, really hungry and are depressed,
Yeah.
and
And she says also, hey, if you are depressed or overwhelmed, what do you have? What kind of self-love tips do you have?
oh, okay, hi Denny, it's nice to meet you. I'm Alex. Thanks for joining tonight. If I
Danny's a very good friend of mine.
Oh, really? Hi.
Yeah.
If I'm really depressed and what was the question? If I'm really depressed, what are my tips for self-love?
Overwhelmed, and then you're hungry.
And
So
it's
what do you do? And then what kind of self-tips do you have?
okay.
I mean, self-love tips.
Okay, so if I'm like just totally depressed and overwhelmed and just want to eat, if that's the question, I'll usually go to a healthy alternative that's you can eat a lot of. So like I'll take an apple and I'll cut it up and sprinkle cinnamon and stevia on it, and then you just microwave it for 30 seconds, and then you've got like a delicious warm apple, and you can keep eating those and keep eating those, right? Because they're apples.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, wow. Warm apples. That sounds like a dessert. That doesn't even sound like a, a guilty food at all. That sounds like a healthy food alternative, right?
So if you eat 10 apples, that's, you can go crazy on apples, right? And it's no big deal. Um,
Yeah, because it's a lot of fiber. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. Or something I do is I definitely change my environment. So as much as it sucks, Denny, I know like the last thing you want to do is freaking like get out of your state and like get out of the house. I find anytime I just change my environment, I'll get a new perspective on things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just get outside, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're hungry, Danny, then eat a lot of apples and get outside. Those, those are some awesome, awesome tips. Thank you, Danny. Okay. But there is also, what is your philosophy? We're all such different individuals, and everybody, it's not like there's a one size fits all. So how do you help women strategize what particular plan works for them?
So I found for me, like I said, I've been on the fitness path for many years, and I've tried many different things. Right now in this moment, what's working for me is a plant-based diet. So I eat primarily plant-based, but for the past 3 years, I was eating, a fitness competitor diet, which is tons of um, meat and vegetables and that kind of thing. And my conclusion is that yes, that one size does not fit all. But what I think you can do is start to listen to your body and figure out what works for you. And if you're not at a point where you're able to do that, you can also just go to basic guidelines that have worked for other people and see how they feel with you and see how they sit with your body. Crazy Fun Fitness offers a nutritional guideline that you can use, and then you can see how that sits with you. And that's the plan I use to get into Fitness America shape.
Hmm. Thank you very much, Alex. So we have this great question from Jason. He says, I consider myself very fit and I take very good care of myself nutritionally and I work out wise. However, I feel like my body has reached a plateau in terms of my level of fitness. What sorts of nuggets of advice can you offer someone like me to help me reach the next level in my fitness journey? Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So if you've hit a plateau, from my experience is that, I would ask Jason, are you eating the same things all the time? A lot of times our bodies will plateau if we're not putting enough variety into our meals. Are you doing the same workouts all the time? A lot of times your body will plateau if it's getting used to a certain fitness routine. So maybe at that point, that's when you try a different crazy fun workout. That's when you try a different way of working out that you haven't tried yet. And maybe if you start incorporating new foods and a new workout into your lifestyle, you'll be able to bust through that plateau.
Okay. And I have a question for myself, Alex.
Okay, great.
Even though I consider myself pretty fit and I take care of my body, but sometimes I have those times where I just can't even think about a treadmill, even the thought of a treadmill makes me sick right away. Well, what is your philosophy? How important is it for us to keep moving? And how do we motivate ourselves when we're totally, you know, out of motivation?
So my cardinal rule is every day 30 minutes you got to move your body. For some people that means pull-ups and jumping up and down like a crazy person, such as myself. And for other people it could just be a walk. But my cardinal rule is you must. We've been talking about energy, right? So in order for energy to flow, you can't just stay on the couch all day. You've got to get up and do something. One of my mentors, she says if you have to take a Kleenex and cry the whole time and go for a 30-minute walk, just freaking do it. Because each day it's going to get easier and easier not to stay stuck.
Mm-hmm. So just once you start doing it, it gets easier and easier, right?
Yeah, of course. And as long as you commit to something, 30 minutes a day, a walk, anything.
Yeah,
Dance 30 minutes a day.
I guess you build a momentum. Also, we just were barraged with all different information and all different gurus and all the different advice on health and fitness and how to take care of yourself. How do you figure it out amidst this influx of information? What really works for you, and who do you believe?
Um, I used to get really, really frustrated, right? Because one person would say do this and the other person would say the complete opposite. And I can understand how frustrating that must be for people. But what I would say is, when you go to the store to try on shoes, you got to try on different pairs, right? So I would say if there's a tip that resonates with you and might feel right to you, I would definitely try it on. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So everything is really trial and error. And I feel that the more things you try on, the more you'll be able to know what works for you.
Mm. And as you just mentioned, you pick one thing and stick with it for a while, right? You build momentum. Did you actually try? You probably tried a lot of different things before you came up with your own health routine, right? Would you mind sharing with us what is your typical week like or your day like? How do you? What are your favorite things to do, exercise-wise?
That's all on my website. Crazyfunfitness.com. One of my favorite things to do is a card workout. I'll just tell you real quick, it's called the Royal Flush. And so I like to do my workouts. I try to get them in, 30 minutes to an hour a day. It could be less than 30 minutes if I'm in a rush. And what I'll do is I'll get an intense workout that kind of works all the body parts and gives me that tone, lean look that I know a lot of us ladies are looking for. Making sure I'm having fun while I'm working out is priority, and I like to do something like that 2, 3 times a week. And the other days, I like to do weight training, but I know that a lot of ladies like to do some cardio or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And we have a question from Chris here. Hello, do you have any advice to a person who hates the very mention of exercise? I love that question, Chris. Thank you. To get them motivated and outside.
I do. So for people that hate exercise, I think what a lot of times I've studied a lot of different teachings, and what that means to me is that you're associating. Is it Chris? Chris asked the question, right?
Yes, it's
So
mighty. Yeah, Chris, yeah.
yeah. So Chris, it sounds to me like you're associating a lot of pain.
It's a woman, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, dear. So what that sounds like to me is you're associating pain to working out as opposed to associating pleasure to working out, right? So instead of hating it, could you try something that might be fun for you? What was fun for you as a kid? Was it hula hooping? Was it hopscotch? Something that gets you moving, but something that's gonna keep you engaged and keep your body starting to build that energy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just pick something simple. Okay. Thank you so much. We have another question from Sergey. First of all, great hangout. Thank you, Jenny and Alex. Thank you, Sergey. What is your opinion about drinking coffee as an energy enhancer in the morning or in the middle of the day? I know a lot of people from my own experience are addicted to caffeine. So what is your opinion about that as to enhance your energy?
Um, so my opinion about coffee is I don't care for it. But I do think if it's something that you enjoy, from time to time, I would definitely have a cup. But there's, depending on where you're at in your fitness journey, I would say for me, what's right for me is not using coffee. I don't like the jittery feeling. I like to get my energy from the juicing that you talked about, Jinya. Or I know that wheatgrass is a great energy source.
Yeah, but wheatgrass tastes horrible.
But it doesn't if you mix it with fruits, right? If you blend
Okay, so just add it into the juice. Okay.
it into like a smoothie or something like that. And
But what if somebody's at work, Alex, somebody who works 9 to 5 and in their office and is feeling tired and in front of their computer all day? Like, what would you recommend a healthier alternative to keep their energy up without overloading themselves on caffeine?
um, is it Sergi? Sergi?
Yes, Sergey.
Sergey. So there are natural alternatives that you could take with you to work. I know of a great natural energy shot. If you'd like to ask me or email me, it's at alex@crazyfunfitness.com. There's definitely products out there that will address that need for energy that's natural and tastes
Yeah, but could you, so are you talking about more of a, like a mixer, sort of a healthier Red Bull, or are you talking about like a juice combination, or what is it?
well, depending on what your resources are, a lot of people don't have time that work the 9 to 5. So what I am talking about is something. It's not Red Bull because Red Bull leaves you, in my opinion, gives you too many wings. um, but it's a natural energy drink that keeps the jitters at bay, but gives you that awake feeling.
Okay, great. And I also know that drinking water throughout the day really helps you. Probably a lot of people are feeling drained of energy because they're dehydrated and they don't realize it.
Right, and
And
coffee is a dehydrator.
right, and also maybe trying green tea instead of coffee. That could be a healthy alternative as well, right?
I personally don't love green tea, but I do drink tea. So if you do like green tea, go for it. That's not my cup of tea,
Okay.
but you could definitely try it.
Okay. Or just herbal teas or something, but also consistently drinking water throughout the day and getting outside for short walks maybe. You can have a few short breaks where you go outside and just walk and that. Or stretching throughout the day also helps with your energy. Even
Yeah,
if you're sitting at your desk all the time, you definitely want to stretch as much as possible, yeah?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Great, Alex. So, as you have competed yourself in the Fitness America competitions, I'm curious to find out who are your role models and who have you modeled after in your life? Like, who are your top fitness role models?
I have a lot of my fitness role models have definitely changed over time. I would say for a long time I've followed Lori Harder, who is Miss Bikini or Miss Universe in 2010. And she's been a great role model in terms of living a healthy lifestyle and um, what it means to take care of your body. I would say lately I'm following more though Janine Roth, who wrote Women, Food, and God, and she talks all about our relationships with food and our bodies, as well as Marianne Williamson, who has that great quote about our deepest fears. She also wrote a book about fear and fear and food and how we use food to nourish ourselves. So those have been some of my role models lately. But yeah.
Yeah, well, Marianne Williamson is a spiritual teacher herself, and I think she wrote a book on self-love, right?
She did, yeah, she did. But she also wrote a book on self-love and food, which has been really insightful.
Would you say self-love and oh, like spirituality applied to health and fitness, right?
Yeah, I think Janine Roth's theory is you can know everything you need to know about a person based on how they eat.
I'm sorry, what's her name again?
Her name is Janine Roth, Geneenroth.
And what's the name of the book?
Women, Food, and God.
Okay. Well, that's super informative. So, you know, I have been a big fan of your website, Alex, and Crazy Fun Fitness. I've been using your awesome videos. I mean, they just looking at your videos makes me want to work out. And as I mentioned before, I'm very much an outside kind of person, but since watching your videos, I figured out that I can actually have some great exercises right in my apartment without going anywhere, and they're very quick and healthy. So what can you tell us? How can you give us a quick rundown, first of all, of what your website offers and how can we all benefit from it? How can I share with my friends?
Absolutely. So, Crazy Fun Fitness was created actually pretty recently. It was created in April, and what it does is, like Jenny said, I've created workouts that can be done at home or outside within, maximum of 45 minutes, and they're based on having fun, but also because I have this Fitness America knowledge and this CrossFit knowledge, they're based on getting you results as well. So I know how to keep the body toned and looking great, but you get to have fun at the same time, and I think that's a unique concept. The website also offers, excuse me, it also offers a ton of healthy recipes, which is great because I make them all really simple. So I know, Ginya, you were saying, I don't have time. I work a 9 to 5. I don't know what to cook or prepare. Well, that's
Or I don't cook at all, or I hate cooking, or I hate exercise.
Absolutely. So I address that problem by making it, 3-4 step recipes. So easy. I have, what is it? Like the cookie dough hummus recipe I was telling you about. Literally, you throw stuff in a blender and you blend it up, and you've got an amazing dip and an amazing dessert if you want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Please also maybe repeat yourself a little bit, but for those of us, because I know there are a lot of people who just have a mental block against exercise, how do you, what's the most inspirational thing that you can tell them to get them motivated and understand really the value? Or some people may say, I'm in great physical shape, I don't need to exercise. They're just naturally built that way, that they're, their bodies are slim and they have lots of energy. Like, why do those people need to exercise at all?
People with good genetics are very lucky.
Yeah. Like I have some great friends who are just, including Chris, who asked that awesome question, like who are just lucky by birth, blessed with great bodies, and they can eat whatever they like. I wish I was that way. I mean, that's always was my dream, but it never happened, right? So for some people, they don't actually need to exercise to look great. So how do you motivate them?
I would say, regardless of whether you've been blessed or not, I feel that we're all entitled. I do believe that optimum health is a basic human birthright. So how you appear on the outside isn't necessarily a reflection of what's going on the inside, right?
Yeah.
You may look like Miss Fitness America, but I don't know what's going on with you on the inside. And I know that if you're not nourishing your body with proper foods, you're probably not feeling that great. So my motivation would be, do you want to feel your best? Do you want to live a level of life that, where you can be in a state of creativity and energy and be engaging, as opposed to that lethargic feeling, and regardless of whether or not you've been blessed with genetics or not.
Right, because exercise is not just for our bodies. Exercise is very, very much stimulates our productivity and focus, and our brains too. They need oxygen. They need exercise, right? So when we exercise, we're actually not just taking care of our physical appearance. We're also exercising our brain muscles.
Yeah, I mean, I found that the way I show up in the world, a lot of times is a reflection of my energy, which a lot of it comes from, did I take care of myself? Did I move my body? Did I eat proper nutrients?
Okay. Do you also recommend, Alex, to vary your exercise routine, or do you stick to the one that works for you and you do it religiously and consistently day in and day out to build momentum, or do you try to experiment different techniques?
I work with, I think it depends on the client a lot of times. But what I do recommend in general is that variety, because when you're confusing your body, when your body doesn't know what's coming next, you tend to get results pretty quickly. So a lot of my workouts are, do something here and then you do something there, and your body's just kind of doing different movements all over the place, which is going to give you results, quick results. But for some people, depending on their fitness journey, there is the discipline guideline of maybe they need to try a certain ritual. I would say don't try the same thing for more than after 30 days. You do need to do something to switch it up. The same thing that your body is going to adjust, and you will plateau. I think like they were one of the questions was.
And also you mentioned 30 days, because 30 days is what takes us to build a habit, right? So if you commit to you can call it a success ritual, and stick to it for 30 days, even if it's not the most efficient thing in the world, if you stick to it, you're going to respect yourself so much more. You're going to have a lot more self-love, and then you can vary it. So I would say maybe pick one activity that you enjoy doing and do it for 30 days. of course with minor variations, and then you can bring in, because if you try to overcomplicate, because some people are like myself, or overachievers or overambitious and try to do a lot of things at once, and then get overwhelmed and then just drop it and don't do anything. So
Right.
simplicity, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say after 30 days, if you love what you're doing, after 30 days and you want to keep that, that's fine. I would just make sure to add something different into the routine as well, so you don't plateau.
Okay. Oh, this has been amazing, Alex. So, guys, if anyone has any more questions, this would be a great time to ask them. Okay. And any any final great inspirational thoughts that you could share for our women?
Sure.
How
So
to, yeah.
yeah, so I didn't quite get to finish about Crazy Fun Fitness. I did want to tell you that the missing link that I think is in fitness is the mindset for fitness. I know a lot of your questions have been, what do I do when I plateau and I don't feel like it and that kind of thing. Really, I find that fitness, a lot of it is the mindset. It took a lot of mindset to get up and do Fitness America. It wasn't, one of my mentors said, the mind quits long before the body ever does. So I've got a great mindset section on my website that's going to give you the tools you need to make sure that this is in check so that you can go and get the body that you want. And then also for those of you hanging out with us, thank you so much for being here. I do have a Dedicate Your Sweat section on my website, and that's where you can dedicate your sweat to the people you love in your life. So sometimes if you don't feel like doing it for you, you might be able to do it for your mom.
Exactly. That's a great motivation, by the way. Yeah, they say we always do more for other people than we'd ever do for ourselves. So, yeah, I love that feature that you have, Alex. Dedicate your sweat. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So pick somebody that you care about and dedicate that sweat to them. So even if you don't feel like exercising, think about that person, and that will keep you on track, right?
Right, because they love you and they want you to, they value you, so you can work out for them. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think this has been super informative, Alex. Thank you so much for your time. And we got some great tips. And yeah,
Do you,
let's.
do you want to tell them what the
What's
offer?
up?
Do you want to tell them what the offer is tonight?
Absolutely, yes. We have a very special offer from Alex, just for everyone who's on the call tonight. Please share it, Alex. Well,
Sure.
okay.
You want me to share, or you want to share it? It's up to you.
Okay. You can get a 30-minute phone conversation with Alex where she will walk you through any challenges you have about your own personal plan, health, and nutrition, answer all your questions, and really get deep why you may have some mental blocks about exercise, and how to get yourself motivated, and what would be the best options for you, and also review your nutritional chart, and
Absolutely.
personalize, maybe come up with a workout plan for you as well. And just for today, it's going to be $25.
Right.
Right, Alex?
Right. So for $25, you can get a 30-minute phone consultation with myself, where you can ask me anything you want. You can get as personal or non-personal as you want about food and fitness and that kind of thing. And then I'm also going to give you a free month to my website, so you get the first 30 days for free if you choose to do the phone consultation with me for $25. So it's a great offer. You get to have a whole month of workouts and all that, and you get to hang out and chat with me. So I hope that you'll sign up. It's at crazyfunfitness.com.
Awesome, Alex. We do have another question from Ameya, who is a great spiritual
What is her name?
friend of mine. Her name is Ameya.
Amaya. Hi, Amaya.
Yeah, very spiritual woman, very intuitive. She's an intuitive healer.
Oh, there
So we're
you
so happy to have you on the call tonight, Amaya. She has a question. It says, when I get burning in my muscles after a workout, how can I speed up the recovery? Is there a supplement for this? It feels like lactic acid buildup.
Yes, I know my friend Lactic Acid. Yes, so I am a proud representative of the Isogenics product line. and I found that they have a product called Ionic Supreme, absolutely removes that lactic acid. My recovery is like that. It's amazing. Sometimes I get really frustrated because I'm like working out and I'm like, why are my muscles not hurting? And so that can be kind of funny and a blessing at the same time. So, Amaya, I would say that if you're interested, just shoot me an email. Again, it's alex@crazyfunfitness.com, and I can hook you up with that.
Wow. Okay. So,
Thank
Alex,
you for the question.
you're being super helpful. Okay, let's see if we get any more final questions. That was it, perfect.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And do you have any great suggestions for some more outdoor stuff? What would you recommend? Somebody who doesn't live by the water, or
Is that for you?
that's more for like, yeah, I'm being selfish here.
Outdoor workouts. Wait, if you don't live by the water, is that right? Or
Yeah, it's I have some friends who are inland as well.
oh, okay. Really, I did create all the workouts. They can be done outside. So if you just want to take my workouts and go outside, you can definitely perform those anywhere. Um, if you're not blessed to be able to live by the beautiful beach like Jinya, there's no reason why you can't just go outside and find just a plot of grass and go for it. It's always great. I find sometimes just taking my little yoga mat and going and working out in the park, especially by a playground. I'm a big fan of swing sets. That's always a lot of fun.
Wow, swing set. Sounds like you really know how to bring on the fun, Alex.
Yes, that's
Okay, thank you so much. It's so inspiring. So no matter what environment you find yourself in, even if you're in a very urban environment and even if there's no lake or no forest, I mean, you can always carve out some space for yourself. Take out actually, I just purchased a rebounder on the Amazon, and it was only $20.
there's a
I put that rebound. Oh, you got one too. Okay. You can put it, you can put it in the middle of your living room, and the rebounder is like a trampoline, and it's so useful. It's actually a fantastic workout for your whole body. It actually rejuvenates every cell of your body. A lot of people recommend it to, for people who don't want any strenuous exercise. But it's a very light cardio, and it really re-energizes every cell of your body. Actually, it's a great energy boost.
It actually removes a ton of toxins as well. So if you want to jump on that rebounder 5 minutes a day, turn up Whitney Houston is a great rebounding artist, and it'll get out all the toxins and you'll feel great. Absolutely great.
Okay. All right, so exercise plus drinking lots of water plus eating green foods and juices and just getting outside, walking. Even if you start from very short walks, you can build it up later, right? Getting the momentum going and also building your healthy habits, sticking with it for 30 days and then varying it. Those are awesome tips, Alex. Okay, it looks like we got another question.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, 1 second, and we're almost done. Okay, no, it just says, thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, right. Welcome. Thank you.
Alex, you're a rock star, and I'm so glad that you were able to make this call. And I'm sure we have more of those.
Absolutely.
And yeah, best wishes to everyone. Okay. Thank you guys again for being here tonight. And we're looking forward to having more of these Hangouts. And please write us with any suggestions or questions you have. I really appreciate everyone's feedback. We want to make it better and better every single time. Thanks for sticking through with me this very first time. I really appreciate everyone who made it tonight. You guys rock. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.